I'm going to do a topic on breaking free from the addiction to struggle. I did some research and I compiled a presentation to share with you guys because I feel like we have all come accustomed to feeling like our life we supposed to struggle in life, when in fact that's not what it's about. Like, life really isn't difficult. We make it difficult. People, human beings, we make it difficult. Like right now, look at the world we're in. Look at this whole election. They're making this election so difficult. It's becoming a struggle to try and live peacefully because of what this country is dealing with. They're making it difficult for no reason. So I wanted to do a podcast or a show speaking about this, breaking free from the addiction to struggle. So today I want to talk about something that we all face at one point or another, this overwhelming feeling that life is harder than it should be. It's almost as if we become addicted to struggling consistently and constantly striving for more, when in reality life can be simple and fulfilling. We just need to change our approach about it. And many of us are caught up in a cycle, always pushing ourselves to keep up with social media, keep up with the Joneses, comparing our lives to others, and overlooking the beauty in small victories and small wins. So what if I said that the key to happiness isn't in the hustle, but in living simple? And then what if we could let go of the pressure and start living a life filled with ease, joy, and appreciation? Like, what if we just did that? So here are a few of the main points that I compiled to discuss about this. The first point is recognizing the addiction to struggle. We have to recognize, why are we addicted to struggle? We've all been conditioned to believe that success and happiness come only through hard work and making sacrifices. There's this idea that if we are not struggling, we are not doing enough. And then the truth is, struggle doesn't equate to value. If we're struggling, that doesn't equate to value. Life isn't meant to be a constant uphill battle. It is not meant for us to struggle all the time. So we need to recognize what we become addicted and why we have become addicted to this mindset, and we can begin to shift and shrink and change this mindset way of thinking. So once we recognize this will get us on the track of changing that mindset that we feel that struggling equates to a value of life, if that makes sense. So the second one is stop trying to keep up with social media, keep up with the Joneses, keep up with everybody else. Stop comparing yourself to the person who you live next to or across the street from. Stop comparing yourself to your coworkers, to whoever. Just stop it. Because be honest, social media has made it even harder. We have like overload with highlights of people's lives on social media, and it's easy to think we're falling behind because we're looking at everybody online and looking at all this curated content that they're posting to say, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. But online, it is what it is. It is curated content. It is not reality. The pursuit of trying to match up to these unrealistic expectations, it is exhausting and it can burn you out. So instead of letting social media dictate your happiness, just start valuing the life that you have offline, the life that you have every day, the life that you have at the moment, or every day or anytime. Just value that. And then appreciate your own journey without comparing yourself to everybody and everyone. Number 3 is to appreciate the small wins, to appreciate all the small wins and all the victories. I don't care what it is. In the rush to achieve big goals and these high expectations of yourself, we overlook the small moments that bring real happiness. So did you take time for yourself today? Like, honestly, did any of you take time for yourself today? Did you accomplish something small that made you feel really good and say, oh, I did that? Like, let's say this may be simple to some, but let's say you've been putting off to get your license renewed or to get your ID because you lost your ID and you've been walking around here for years without your ID. And you finally accomplish getting your ID or getting your license reinstated because it was suspended for 4 or 5 years. You did that, right? So you've accomplished something. That may not be big to others, but it's big to you. These little moments of progress, it just deserve to be celebrated. Celebrate those wins. Life is a collection of small wins and victories. And if we start appreciating them, we'll realize we're much more successful than we give ourselves credit for. Honestly, that is something to celebrate. Like, hey, I've been, catching Ubers and catching a bus because my license been suspended for 4 or 5 years and I finally got my license. Not me. I'm just making an example. Point number 5 is live in the moment, because we often live in the future. We often live in the past because a lot of us focus on the past and we're waiting for something better to come. We'll probably say something like, I'll be happy when I get another car. The car works, but it may need a little paint job. But you'll say something like, I'll be happy when I get, this car that I always wanted, maybe BMW or Mercedes, because I'm driving around in the Toyota, or I'll be happy when things get easier or when things get better. That may be fine, but what would make it easier? Like, what are you looking to, or how are you looking to make it easier? I mean, if it's working, it may be overwhelming at times, but what would make it easier? And then if you feel like you can find a way to make it easier, then start working on that. The reality of all of this is the present moment is the only time that we truly have. That's the real reality of it. It's the present moment. That's the time that we have, like right now, in the moment. I always say, live life simple. Living in the moment means fully experiencing life as it is right now. And that's without always trying to fix, always trying to change, always trying to improve things. I know we all have room for growth. I'm not saying we don't. But if things are working and it's not broke, then why are you trying to fix it? Why are you trying to change the way your life is? So let me try to give an example. If your life is, say you're home with your parents and you have a room and you don't have to pay rent. Let's say you're an adult now, but you down on your luck or whatever, but you still have a place to go and you live with your parents and you have a room and you have a place, to stay. But your parents have rules too. And they're just telling you simple rules like, hey, don't come in the house at a certain time of night. If you feel like you can't make it at that time, then don't come home. Just come the next morning. Or, hey, don't have Uber Eats or DoorDash ringing my doorbell at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm asleep. I don't want that. Or, hey, do me a favor. If you're going to eat, please don't eat in the room because you're not going to, pick up after yourself. It's just best to just eat in the kitchen. And whatever, simple as that. You don't have to pay no rent. You don't have no bills. Just live here, save your money, and go. Why are you trying to fix that? Why are you trying to change that by not following those rules? Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Experience the life that you're giving, that's being given to you. And the life is you're giving a place to stay. No rent, no expenses, no overhead. You save your money so that you can do what you need to do in the next year. But then you make it hard for yourself because now you're getting ready to create a struggle because you're going to do what? You're going to try and change the rules. So learn to live in the moment. Learn to make it simple and learn to not be addicted to struggling. So I also compiled 5 tips to create a non-struggling life. 5 tips to create a non-struggling life. So let me give you these tips really quick. Simplify your expectations. This is the first one. Stop setting overly ambitious expectations for yourself. It's okay to have goals, but make them realistic and achievable. Simplifying your expectations means you'll experience fewer disappointments, self-sabotaging, and more joy in what you do accomplish. And when I say self-sabotaging, that's because you have created these high expectations of goals that you know for a fact that you're not going to accomplish. So simplify your expectations so that way you don't seem like you're struggling to complete them. Number 2 is to declutter your life. Declutter it mentally and physically. Clear out the clutter in your home and in your mind. Let go of the worries and stresses that aren't serving you. If it's not serving you, then let it go. When we declutter, we create space for what truly matters. And the life feels a lot less chaotic. Your life feels less chaotic. So that's decluttering your life. The third tip is practice gratitude daily. And I don't think we do this enough. I don't think we thank God enough. Some of us may not pray all the time, but it doesn't hurt to just say, thank you, God. Thank you to the Most High. Thank you, God. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Things may look rough right now, but I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Thank you, God. Just take a few minutes each day and reflect on what you're grateful for, what you have accomplished, what you do have, what you did receive. It could be something small. It could be a great cup of coffee, or it could be a phone conversation with a friend you haven't heard from in a while and you just, caught up with that person. Or simply the fact that you woke up today. Thank you, God. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we don't have to what we do, creating a mindset of abundance rather than secrecy. Number 4 and the final one is to set boundaries. And we have to learn to set those boundaries. And no, this is not the final one. This is number 4. Learning to say no is a powerful tool for living simply. And it is. You have to learn how to say no. You have to not be a people person. When you be this way and you're constantly telling people yes and you're constantly letting people cross your boundary line, getting into your space and learning not to say no. You don't have to be everything for everyone. By setting these healthy boundaries, you protect your energy at all costs, honey, and ensure you're focusing on what's most important to you and not what's important to others. Learn to tell them no. If you're around people who you're always pouring into and it's not reciprocated, then you need to create boundaries, because now you're making your life struggle to please everybody. And it's not being reciprocated. If you're always there for someone to pick them up when they're down, or to help them when they need it, or to guide them when they're lost, or to lift them up when they're low, come on, you got to set boundaries if it's not reciprocated. Okay, and so number 5 is, which is my final one, is you have to slow down and you have to breathe. I love doing a breathing method. Take some time to pause. Whether it's taking a walk, whether it's meditating, or simply just sitting in silence for a few moments. Slowing down allows you to recharge and reconnect. But I want to also add to that, you want to disconnect so that you can recharge and that you can reconnect with yourself. The world is fast-paced, but you don't have to be a part of that fast-paced lane. You don't have to be in the speed lane. You can get in the far right lane on the highway, and if you feel like it's going too fast, you can always exit. So in conclusion to all of this, Let's remember that life doesn't have to be a constant struggle, and we don't have to keep chasing an idea that doesn't exist. So by choosing simplicity, by being present, appreciating small things, and letting go of unnecessary burdens and worries, we can live a life that's truly fulfilling. It's time to break free from the addiction to struggle. Life is meant to live. It is meant to be lived, not merely survived. So embrace simplicity, everybody. Embrace simplicity, okay? And find joy in the now, in the moment. All right, beautiful faces. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to tune in on my next podcast here at Let's Talk About It with Sunny Morrison. Thank you again. Have a sunny day.